My life is much better. I'm able to live it as I please.
I can actually wake up and do things that I didn't do before.
It's been the single best thing we've ever used against MS.
I'm able to live life again.
It was something extraordinary.
It's been such a wonderful thing to be to experience.
It was the most amazing thing.
For me, it was a godsend.
It's been a blessing, it really has.
I feel better now than I have in 10 years.
Try it, because it does work.
Everyone should try it.
It has definitely made a difference in my life and also my wife's life because she's much happier now, and if she's happy, I'm happy.
It has helped me so much that I would not have seen myself in this position 4 or 5 months ago before I found this.
It's given me a more fuller life.
My overall quality of life has just really improved.
It's really made a huge difference in my life, and I can't imagine going back to where I was.
All of the people you've just seen are quite different and come from many walks of life. They range in age from 16 to 85. They are students, construction workers, elite athletes, rodeo cowboys, housewives, retirees. Collectively, they've battled a wide variety of ailments, including multiple sclerosis, chronic pain, sciatica, vertigo, Crohn's disease, insomnia, and migraines. As debilitating as these health problems have been, the effects are much larger. Lives have been altered. People have been forced to give up aspects of their life that once brought them great joy. It can affect relationships and family dynamics. Poor health becomes so much bigger than just not feeling your best. You'll learn more about them and others like them in today's program, but they have at least one thing in common. Their overall health has improved and their lives have been changed with a remarkable type of care that is decades old, yet still relatively little known. The care is uninvasive and scientific. It is gentle, reproducible, and available for people of all ages and health concerns. It is for everyone. The care is upper cervical chiropractic, and it has brought life-changing results to millions worldwide.
2005, I had a stroke, which was in the pons area, which affected both of my sides, but left me with lots of imbalance and double vision.
Well, it's real interesting because my wife made the appointment for me.
Yeah, I had a compression fracture right before I got my first adjustment, and having my body heal in the right position, being straight, aligned, my body turned out to be great, because if you have a hurt body and if your body's slouched and it healed slouched, it's not good. Just to be healed, to be straight, it's a great feeling.
When Juanita Smith was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 1989, it began a 14-year period of hopelessness for her and her husband, David.
I felt not only hopelessness, but anger, because I really didn't like the bedside manners of a lot of the doctors who treated her, and their hopeless, unhelpful, even inconsiderate approach to us. But in the end, they could offer us nothing. That's why and when I went off looking for alternative measures.
Juanita tried many therapies in an effort to alleviate the symptoms of MS and improve the quality of her life before eventually trying upper cervical chiropractic.
I tried that adjustment, and the first night I went to sleep on my side.
That was amazing.
It was
really.
amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. I was so blown away by that.
Married for 17 years, Juanita and David were divorced at the time of her MS diagnosis. Improbably, it was Juanita's illness and the fight for her well-being that would ultimately help heal Juanita, as well as the couple's relationship.
The divorce turned out to be a failure because when she got sick, we came back together. Better, more, and stronger, and with more love than ever before. And now we've been married 21 years, the second time. So I think we're doing a lot better than ever.
Yes, I think so too.
Juanita kept a diary of her ordeal with MS, which was later published as a book, My MS Challenge.
And I can't imagine that would have ever happened without the treatment, because her degree of mental alertness and awareness increased greatly because of the treatment.
Juanita has continued with care. She is periodically checked to see if she needs an upper cervical chiropractic adjustment. Juanita has returned to her active lifestyle and is feeling better than ever.
I feel good about myself. And I know I still have some problems, but I feel good. I feel happy. I feel I'm going in the right direction. It's worth a try. It's worth a try.
For 6 years, Drew Peterson was on the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association and participated in rodeo's most exciting and dangerous event, bull riding. And while trying to ride a bucking 2,000-pound animal for 8 seconds may be thrilling, even the best riders suffer serious injuries and chronic health problems.
A lot of broken bones, concussions, a lot of injuries to my head, I guess. So it was a fun time. I started feeling it in different parts of my body, and it was more of just, I guess, chalking it up to those injuries, thinking, well, you know, that's what it is, and I would progressively get worse for you know, the years till now.
Like getting repeatedly bucked off by an angry bull, Drew was frustrated by his many attempts to seek relief from the pain and injuries that resulted from his rodeo career.
I tried physical therapy. That didn't work. I bought a very expensive bed that did not work at all, even though they said it would. It worked for my wife, didn't work for me. I would try ointments. I would try sleeping different ways with different pillows, and then regular doctors, going to regular doctors, and I had headaches and neck aches, and it just never went away, and nothing worked. Figured I either need to start taking pills, which I don't want to do or didn't want to do, or try something different, and that's why I tried the upper cervical chiropractic.
Drew learned of upper cervical chiropractic from a radio commercial and scheduled his first visit shortly thereafter.
After about the third visit, I really started noticing changes, and it was odd because it wasn't just changes in my being able to sleep and my neck not hurting, because that became immediate, and I didn't have the problems in the morning, and I thought, well, I can stop now, and I didn't do that. I kept going because it was so, I guess, immediate to be able to feel that, not have the pain anymore.
Drew was pleasantly surprised when he noticed some other changes too.
Later on, I started noticing other things, which were things I didn't expect. For instance, I run a lot, and the impact on your body when you run is quite a bit, and I would start knees, my muscles would hurt normally. And I started noticing that I didn't get as sore, not even close to as sore. And I thought, well, that's kind of weird because it's your neck, but how could it be helping this down here? But it did, and it was quite remarkable, to be honest. I think that most of the people out there right now, and I would put it in the high 90%, are just chalking things up to old age, that this is just what happens when you get older. And all I can say to them is, I did the same thing, and I can tell you this works.
Initially skeptical about the benefits he might receive from upper cervical chiropractic care, Drew Peterson is now an enthusiastic advocate.
So if you're on the fence on getting upper cervical chiropractic, I can tell you I spent a lot of years of my life beating my body up. I spent 6 years of my life riding bulls for a living, and you know, even on a good ride where you didn't get thrown off, it beat your body up. And I can tell you that if it works for that, beating your body up to that extent, it'll work for anybody.
So what is the upper cervical difference? An upper cervical chiropractor makes a safe, scientific, and measured adjustment to the top of the spine when needed to allow the body to naturally realign and best express health. Have you ever been gently admonished by a parent or a teacher to get your head on straight? As it turns out, that was pretty good advice. Here's why. The human head is like a 12-pound bowling ball that sits on the first cervical vertebra, or C1, the uppermost bone in the spinal column. The bone is commonly called the Atlas because it is named for the figure in Greek mythology that was believed to be holding the world on his shoulders. The brainstem and spinal cord, thus almost every nerve in the human body, passes through the center of the ring-shaped atlas bone. Life flows from above down and inside out. When the head is not seated properly on the atlas, there's interference in the communication of signals from the brain to all other parts of the body. A blockage at the top can affect everything downstream. Proper communication from the brain to the body is vital for the proper function of a living organism. This structural misalignment that interferes with proper communication is called a subluxation. Definition: it has less than 100% communication of energy and information between 2 points. The human body cannot properly coordinate its functions if it does not have full communication. An upper cervical chiropractor's main objective is to find and correct subluxations that can affect the sensitive brain and nervous system. The early beginnings of subluxation can go as far back as the birthing process. Imagine a difficult birth, and then add on layers of accidents and traumas that are experienced growing up. It's no wonder most people show evidence of subluxation long before they finish elementary school. Initially, a subluxation may not be noticed by an individual. Have you ever gone into the dentist and been told that you have a cavity, even though there was no pain? When does a cavity start? Only when there was pain? Or was it months before? When the atlas begins to subluxate, this marks the start of a stage commonly referred to as dis-ease. There's now a loss of 100% communication. When the dis-ease process continues for a long enough period of time, symptoms begin to appear. The individual is often now labeled or diagnosed with a condition or disease. As the result of upper cervical chiropractic, patients have reported experiencing a return of proper coordination between their brain and the rest of their body. This proper coordination has often taken the shape of relief from chronic pain and improvement in the symptoms of a variety of illnesses and conditions.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jamie Kaiser, founder of Back into Balance Chiropractic Clinics. Everything you're hearing in today's program are testimonials from patients who have received care in my office. I wish I had known about this sooner. That is the most common response we get from all new patients. Second only to, well, I didn't get help sooner because I thought it was going to go away on its own. Once a new patient can see their exam findings, once we can show them their x-rays, it all begins to make sense why they haven't gotten the help they need. This program you're listening to does a fantastic job of explaining what we do and why it's different. Our new patient call center is available 24 hours a day, no matter when you're listening to this program. Chances are you were meant to do so much more with your life than where you're currently at. Let's find out if our office can help get you back to that person you were always meant to be. Call our office now, anytime, day or night, and take advantage of our limited time offer.
I couldn't believe the treatment, and the adjustment was through just below my ear lobe, and I'm thinking, this is supposed to help me? But it did help me.
Just looking at the science behind how it worked seemed very logical to me. The faith came in because the adjustment was very gentle and it didn't hurt at all. And I thought, how could this possibly work? But it did, and I'm very pleased.
When I had the procedure, what the procedure was nothing I had ever experienced before. And I figured while this is going on, this isn't going to do a thing. This is not going to do anything whatsoever. I don't know why I'm here. This is a waste of time. The interesting thing is I got up from the table and I was standing straight.
After being introduced to the upper cervical chiropractic care, it was amazing to me that there was hope finally, that I forgot what it was like to not have pain. That's crazy to say, maybe crazy to hear, but to me, it was my reality every day.
I love it when this is compared to braces. Like, it's just the whole idea of getting the structure in line and then letting the body take care of itself. That makes so much sense to me, and I believe that it does the overall wellness of your body and getting your body into a place where it can really function like it's supposed to. And I really feel confident in that.
So the first time I went to get the adjustment, that was the first thing I noticed. I was able to sleep on my right side and I could breathe. Upper cervical chiropractic has changed my life. from thinking that I was never going to be normal to actually living a normal life now.
I've just noticed that my focus is better. I can stay on task more. Physically, just not in pain. It's fantastic.
It was many years later, it's just been since I got the upper cervical chiropractic care that I've taken up golf again with a girlfriend of mine, and we took lessons, and I don't have those headaches anymore, and my swing is really opened up, and I can get the ball in the air and hit it far, and I can play 18 holes and be fine afterwards.
I would say with the upper cervical treatments, I have been able to go, my husband and I like to go wine tasting, we like to go out with friends, and I feel that I can go and do these things because I'm not in pain.
Since I have had the upper cervical work done, my life has improved tremendously. I'm able to ride my horse again, I'm able to walk around, I'm able to go to the gym and work out. I'm able to live life again.
When I do soccer, you align the ball and with your foot, and if you're not aligned, it's gonna go way off, and feeling that your body's aligned and then the ball's gonna go where you want it to go, it's really great feeling and it's really cool. My coach has noticed it. He's noticed that I'm kicking the ball where I'm supposed to be going, and he's happy that he's like, wow.
After the adjustment, the biggest difference I experienced was not only getting back pain relief, but actually getting bladder control, total bladder control. And the first time I noticed it, I had to fly overseas, and I set the whole trip on the airplane without getting up once or wanting to, and that was near a miracle.
The biggest change was sleep at night. After going through menopause, I never could get good night's sleep. I was always up at night. After few sessions with upper cervical and after a few adjustments, I'm sleeping so strong at night. So the biggest difference I see right now after having few months of upper cervical adjustments, that my life is full and complete every day. I don't have moments of my life when I'm just drowsed out, like I'm dozing off. I'm very centered. My head works clearly. My brain always clicking, which I like about myself when this happens.
Akil Veremy's young life turned upside down at the age of 10 when he suffered chronic problems with his digestive system that were later diagnosed as symptoms of Crohn's disease.
Well, when I was 10, I started getting stomach pain. My appetite went down, and I lost weight for sure. And then we went to a lot of doctors, and they said, I just need to eat more, but I tried, but I couldn't. It's just too much for me. Well, if I tried eating more, I get stomach pain. Sometimes I threw up, and I felt nauseous. I didn't do so well when I was playing sports and with friends. It hurt my friends, that's for sure. I wasn't able to go outside as much as I like to. And going to restaurants was out of our option because stomach pain, so it sucked back then.
Sadly, Akil's digestive problems continued into his early teens.
I was an A+ student until high school, and then everything just fell apart. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do the homework because I had the pain, and life just spiraled downhill. I had to stay home because my grades weren't up, and all that confusion in my family. So they said just stay at home, and that's the best solution for now.
Having tried many things in order to improve his health, Akil turned to upper cervical chiropractic at the suggestion of his mother, who had greatly benefited from care.
After a couple of visits, my appetite grew, and I was able to eat more, and thus I got more food into me, and I've gained a couple of pounds since. I've seen improvement in my grades, I've seen improvement in my walking, my sleeping, my appetite, and pretty much almost all aspects of my life.
Once housebound by his debilitating digestive disease, Akil has resumed his studies and active lifestyle. He's now planning to return to an activity that he once loved. To say that Mitch Hess loves baseball is a major understatement. For 10 months of each year for more than 15 years, Mitch has coached the sport at many levels, imparting his knowledge of the game to young players. While fun, years of pitching batting practice and playing baseball really threw Mitch's health a curveball.
For the pain in one of my toes was so extreme, they called it sciatica and all kinds of different things. It was so extreme that if I had the tool and had the gumption, I would have taken the toe off myself. It was that bad. It was that painful. And I've broken bones and whatnot, but the nerve or whatever was happening to my whole body, excruciating. Excruciating. What does that have to do with throwing a baseball? I don't understand, but it's the wear and tear I put on my body. I've had shoulder surgeries, elbow surgeries. I didn't want anyone going anywhere near my back because I didn't want the recovery or not to be able to recover from that. It was the pain in my toe that caused me to and had to look within myself to get the upper cervical adjustment. And even if it was flip the coin and see, at least it wasn't going to be a surgery type situation, and I wanted to give it a shot. I'm here 2 years later and I'm still giving it a shot. It feels good. Now, since I've been adjusted, going on 2 years now, the performance is outstanding and I don't have the downtime. I get a good night's rest, ready to do it again the next day. That's what I do it for, is the love of the game. And I couldn't have the love if I was in pain. The main thing that I would suggest to anybody watching is to try not to be a doubter. It's non-invasive and you feel the relief that you expect to feel. Don't be a doubter.
Are you tired of always getting the same answers? How many x-rays have you had? How many MRIs? How many shots and pills have you taken only to get back to the same point of frustration? Do you now have new health problems because of what was already tried? Sometimes people need hope, not another diagnosis. If everyone else has already chased the symptoms around, albeit with good intention, and it has led to the current results for a patient, the entire system of thinking must be changed. Instead of chasing the symptom, upper cervical looks for the cause. Upper cervical chiropractic addresses the neurological compromise at the source. In order to determine the proper protocol for adjusting a patient, the upper cervical practitioner takes highly specific, low-dosage x-rays of the patient's head and neck to determine how the head is seated on the atlas. Only once this area has been properly analyzed can the doctor determine how to safely and gently adjust the subluxation and return the body back to its proper position. Only through a specific and calculated adjustment can the subluxation be addressed so that the patient begins to experience systemic changes and relief.
The single best insurance policy you can have for a vibrant life is a properly functioning nervous system. And that's what upper cervical care is really about. Removing the interference so that your body can function at 100% of its ability. All the people you've been hearing from in today's program are patients who have received care in my office. Upper cervical care is for everyone, not just for the people who are in a desperate situation. Yes, we can help the man who has already had 2 failed back surgeries. But we can also help that mom who just wants to regain a bit more energy to better be able to keep up with her kids. It is about allowing 100% expression of life through every patient's body. And that is why every man, woman, and child should get checked to see if they need an upper cervical adjustment. If you or someone in your family could be helped, would you want to know about it? Our new patient call center is available 24 hours a day, no matter when you're listening to this program. Chances are you were meant to do so much more with your life than where you're currently at. Let's find out if our office can help get you back to that person you were always meant to be. Call our office now, anytime, day or night, and take advantage of our limited time offer.